Hello and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year to everybody, and welcome to that time of year where everyone fancies doing some sort of top 10 best models, top 10 this, top 10 that. So I thought I'd do something slightly different, which is my top 5 best bargains of the year that we managed to pick up at toy fairs or eBay specials or something like that. So they're not in any order, these 5, just 5 that we got for a really good price. So let's see what we start off with. So at number 1 or number 5, as I say, these are not in any particular order, is this rather nice Bachmann Class 66. This is number 32731 in Direct Rail Services livery, number 407. This was a train fare purchase and is in conjunction with the engine I'm going to show you next. But these are all Bachmann diesels, very nicely detailed. Nice grills on the top, exhaust, all that. I have shown this one before. Get it on the end. Has working directional lights. Runs lovely and smoothly. See the lights just about come on there. Hardly makes a sound. Has a switch on the bottom to change the lights from day to night running if you want. Very nice runner. We'll send that one round. Lovely and smooth and quiet. Was a train fare purchase from not that long ago, I think. So we'll leave the 66 to do its thing. And I said this was in conjunction with another loco, so this is the second one. This is 32378, class 37, called Bulliday, something like that. Not sure you pronounce that. This is a like the 66, central motor, 2 shafts out to the wheels, all-wheel drive, all that stuff. This one comes with loads of extra parts, including etched nameplates inside to be fitted, which I obviously haven't done. Put it down on the tracks in the Intercity livery. I need to get some matching coaches for this. If anyone can suggest any, please do. But again, this is your typical slightly older Bachmann diesel. Plenty of detailing, excellent moulding, working lights, again a switch to go from day to night running. Seems a funny thing to say, but nice wipers. With a fan on the top, non-working. Yeah, you can perhaps tell with some of the moulding it's a slightly older model, but I think this looks great. Paint's all well applied, especially that sort of orangey stripe across the top. The same working lights, so let's just get this one going. If I use the right controller, not sure if you can see the lights come on there. Let's try it from the back. Yeah, just about. It's so dingy today, I've had to, I've got spotlights on, so it's difficult to see the lights. I think you can just make them out there. Again, like the other one, in fact, like all my Bachmann diesels, beautifully smooth, quiet, heavy. Absolutely lovely. Right, let's give this one a run around. Just make sure it's not going to smack into the 66 as that comes round, which is over the back here at the moment. Let that one go past. We'll send off Bulladay. Get him out the sidings. Impressive looking beast. So next up we got something very different in at number 3. Doesn't matter whether you're counting up or down, it's in at number 3. It's not that Mahano. It's the Trix Eagle. Now this is an older model. I think I've already featured this in a video in the past, and this came from a seller who had a small stand full of interesting stuff, and everything was 30 quid each. So this was 30 quid. He had some other stuff there, but he only took cash, and there was no way I could get any more cash to pay him. He couldn't or wouldn't do PayPal or anything like that, which is a shame. I could have got the Lafayette and some really nice looking Joef rail cars and Riva Rossi rail cars, lots of lovely stuff, but yeah, just didn't have the cash. Quite disappointed. Anyway, this is the first locomotive to run in Germany, apparently. Not this model, but the real one. And it's interesting because the motor's in that coach, and it's a big chunky motor as well, and this runs really nicely, although it's got a bit of noise to it. All my Trix stuff, which I don't actually have much, but it's always a bit noisy, not silent like that lovely Mahano there. And it's, considering how old it is, it's reasonably well detailed, although I think there's a possibility that there should be a crew in there. This is only what a subscriber told me, or someone who watched one of the videos told me in a comment. There possibly could or should have been a crew in there. I think they've since re-released this in a much newer version, or it's due to come out or something like that. But I like Era 1 stuff, and this one's really quite nice. And I think 30 quid for the full set, man, you can't turn that down, can you? And unfortunately not boxed. But yeah, I think that's a really nice set. What makes it a bargain, well, apart from what it looks like, is the fact that generally on eBay these are well over £100. So let's get this going. Yeah, Die Adler is actually called. It's got a really strong motor. The loco at the front is just free running basically, because the motor's in that second coach. You might just be able to make it out as it sets off. But it's a strong motor, and if you could fit any more coaches or wagons to it, pull them easily. Let's send that one off. No lights or anything on that. It's nice to run this along with the Rocket, which is in there, or the Lion, or the DeWitt Clinton, or the John Ball, which I've also got somewhere. As you can see, it runs really nicely. So that's the Trix D Adler, or Der Adler, can't remember which it is now, 30 quid. Definitely a bargain of the year, that one, or one of the bargains of the year. Very nice, it's nice to run, and it does run well despite having that little bit of noise to it. Absolutely perfect. Well, we'll get that one away, back in his engine shed. See if it'll back in without derailing. No problem. So next up at 2 or 4 is one we got from another train exhibition rather than a train fair. This was in Oakhampton. And we'll just roll this one in. And this is the EFE Rail Pacer in GWR green, as you can see. Now this was at the time, these were very rarely under 200 to 250 quid. Even when they had sales and they were reduced to 160, 149, the GWR one was never included. But I know I've seen recently that I think it was Rails or TMC actually included the GWR version in their sort of sale. Anyway, this was 70 quid. I believe. I've definitely done a video on this one, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you can see it's a lovely model. I've never managed to confirm this, but I've been told by 2 or 3 people who should know that this is actually a real track model, which EFE have borrowed, licensed, stolen, I don't know, whatever. Unless it was originally made for real track by Bachmann. But it's got lots of fine details. You can see the bits on the doors there. Really nice. Beautifully made. It's not the greatest runner. Nothing wrong with the motor, but a couple of the back-to-backs are a little bit on the tight side, and it does crump over some of my points, especially curved points. Originally it derailed a lot on one particular set, but I filed the middle V bit down a bit, and that cured it. So now it doesn't derail, but when you see it running, you'll hear it crumping over some of the points. Also, because of the long wheelbase and the bogies don't move, it did struggle originally with second radius curves. It drastically slowed down, but I've run it for a good few hours overall, and that has all completely loosened up, so that's sort of much better there. Now this does have all lights, front and rear, and the coaches, which seem pretty good. They don't flicker that often. See if we can see them come on. In fact, let's see if it'll crump over these curve points. I bet it does. Yeah, you can hear it bouncing over the frog a bit there. don't know whether you can see that the coach lighting is actually on. You'll probably see it better when I've got it running around properly. Yeah, one end's driven. Can't remember which end it is now, but it runs perfectly well both directions. Yeah, you can see the little... And those points there are actually Pico ones, which are way better than the Hormy versions. Nothing else has problems on them, so can't remember what the back-to-backs were, but they were a little bit on the tight side, a little bit wide, and I can't quite work out how to narrow it up a bit because the wheels don't move and I don't want to break them. There's name boards on the front. I think it has Paynton and Exmouth, which is exactly correct. Yeah, it's got Exmouth that end, so it must have Paynton the other end. Yeah, so this was a bargain, 70 quid for this, and it was in pristine condition. And I don't think it had done much running at all, because with a long hour or so in each direction, it improved drastically. Hasn't got a great crawl, tends to jump into life a bit. Mind you, if you've ever ridden on one of these, it's exactly what they used to do. And they used to rock and roll a bit, so maybe that crumping over points is realistic. Yeah, let's send that round. Probably be able to see the coach lighting better this side of the room because it's a bit darker. It comes from behind the engine shed. Yeah, you can see the coach light in there. And here the clunking over points. I really like this model. It might be because I've rode on one many times.
Rolling on steel, no luxury vibe. Pace a train, just trying to survive. Box on wheels, diesel breathing fire. Old school clatter, never retire. Seats like bricks, rides insane. Like a bus got drunk and became a train. Doors slam loud, brakes all squeaky, but we made it work, that's northern chicy. Pacer, rattle down the line. Old school grind with a budget design. From Leeds to Cardiff, valleys wide. We bump, we grind, it's a pacer ride.
So before we have a look at the last one of the top 5 bargains of the year, there's a couple of honourable mentions. One of which is the O2 Adams tank from EFE Rail. Lovely model, but so light. It could pull about as well as Elephant Man in a disco on Friday night. Really poor, but was a lovely model. I paid about 40 or 35 quid for that one. The reason that doesn't feature is because someone offered me a silly amount of money for it. It was over £100, so that one had to go. And I also had a 3-car, I think it was a Class 117 Lima set in Great Western livery that someone once told me was a bit rare, but you know, you take that with a pinch of salt. And I thought that, and once it featured on this channel, someone contacted me and offered me just under £150 for it. And for that I paid 40. So that one had to go as well. And that went to Australia of all places. So that's 3 honourable mentions. So I think we should bring in the last one. As I say, the Pacer's now gone the other way, heading to Paynton. So let's roll the last one in. So this is a Manor class called Draycott Manor from Dapol. Now at the time of getting this, I still couldn't decide whether to get an Accurascale version or the Dapol version. and the Dapol version was up for sale at the same train exhibition I got the Pacer from. Excuse me. And the guy wanted 75 quid for it, so I couldn't turn that down. I'll just show you what we've got, for what it's worth. Draycott Manor, 7810, BR Lime Green, small early crest. This is not DCC fitted because I don't do DCC. Does come with a fair few extras, including some nameplates and some other bits and pieces, plus a tool for pulling the DCC socket out of the boiler, which is a bloody good idea. This is a well detailed model. I'll get slightly closer to it. I have featured this in a video already. Pacer's still rattling along there. Yeah, nicely detailed. You can see some of the valve stuff underneath in red. Nicely made. Not quite the bright green I was expecting. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's got quite a dullish green, but it's very nice. Runs lovely. Again, I don't think this has had much use. Don't know if we'll be able to see in the cab, but there is some cab detail in there. Let's just move the light around. Yeah, you might just be able to pick that up. Can't remember if this has got firebox glow or not. Might have, might not. Not fussed either way, really. Has got a little bit of motor noise, but I've not really run this much at all. I remember when we got it, I ran it in and then I put it back in its box for safekeeping. I'm not sure I've run it since at all, actually. I think for 70 or 75 quid or whatever we paid for this, this certainly was a bargain. Anyway, it saved me from buying one new or getting the Accurascale one. Yeah, more than happy with that. Let's send that one off as well. Lovely smooth runner, just that very slight noise from it. So that's my top 5 bargains of the year. There's a couple of others I could have included. The Lima stroke Riva Rossi diesel for 38 quid. There's a couple of other Roco engines. A couple that I got direct from Germany, which I think were bargains, but you know, I'm less sure about them, but they weren't exactly cheap in the first place. There was the Lima King in blue for 20 quid. Which is another good one. But yeah, but these have been my top 5, and these two probably my top 2, just the ones I like the most. So what bargains did you get during the year? Did you find anything good? If you're still not going, I definitely recommend going to toy fairs for this sort of stuff. You never know what you're going to find. Sometimes they're rubbish, sometimes they're good. So anyway, comment down below, let us know what you managed to find during the year, or what you're most happy with that you bought. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you to everyone who's watched any of our videos during the year, whether it's just one or most or just the shorts, whatever. Thank you very much for watching and commenting. I like to have a bit of a discourse, bit of a conversation via the channel. It's all good stuff. Maybe we'll see some of you at some train fairs this year, see how it goes. I think their next one is 2 weeks, first one of the year, back in Newton Abbot. So thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one, and bye for now.
Built for 5 years, stayed for 30. Rusty, dusty, diesel dirty. Windows steam, floors all bare, but we still got there, don't even care. No Wi-Fi, just that clack clack beat. Countryside blur in a plastic seat. Toasting tea in a paper cup. Conductor shouts, yo, fare is up. Pacer, rattle down the track with a bang and a wheeze and a clickety clack. No smooth ride, just pride inside. We rattle and roll on the Pacer ride.